Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing as Greece. We're going to be forming Megali, or like the greater Greece, right? And I've done this once before, but honestly I haven't done it yet in the Second Great War mod, so I was hoping to try that today. And so the first thing I did was attack North Macedonia. No more disputes over the history of Greece. It's all Greek now. That war went by pretty quickly, and I immediately used the remaining troops along with some new ones to invade Albania. Now, I didn't go too far. I only took the province that I needed, and so I just left with that. And then afterwards, I decided to just move back all my forces and disband them, since, I didn't really need them anymore. I shouldn't really just be using the same troops, right? I leave them aside just to chill there and then disband them. And then I just spend the next couple of turns getting money. And as you remember probably from my last video, I tried invading Bulgaria. That didn't go so well. This time, I'm not making those mistakes. I'm invading with enough troops. I let the first turn pass and let them attack me, to weaken their forces, and then I launch my attack. And of course, the attack in Sofia is successful, but it's relatively high I do get casualties, and then they manage to even find a gap in my line somehow. And I legitimately think they're about to start spreading out. I wasn't about to let that happen though, and so we took over all of Bulgaria. And now instead of just taking what I needed. Instead, I decided to take a whole chunk of Bulgaria out of just from Bulgaria, and then I decided to go and release a monarchist Bulgaria. So now we got a North Bulgaria and a South Bulgaria, and I'm basically just created myself a buffer state. And plus, they automatically had the support of the citizens too. They didn't have to assimilate as well, which I found kind of cool. But that was very convenient. So now my buffer state was strong and stable, and so. Afterwards, I just spent the next couple of turns doing a whole lot of nothing, because I really was hoping for Turkey and Iran to get into a war, and maybe that would make my job a whole lot easier, right? And that's what I did. I spent the next couple of turns waiting. Then and I also got a bunch of diseases, but who cares, right? So once that was over, I decided I looked, right, and I spent more turns waiting, and now I started suffering inflation too. And so I waited till I was at 300,000, and I decided, you know what? I am mobilizing the entirety of the Greek populace to now join the army and invade Turkey. That will be the entire focus of the Greek state in this gameplay. And I mean, I go insane with this recruiting to the point where I end up recruiting about 56, the army numbers, right? That end up totaling up to 56,000 because I just recruited that much. Right? And so now with this massive army and a completely debt economy, I go into horrendous debt to do this, by the way. So I attack Turkey, and I let Turkey attack me for the first couple of turns, and then I start attacking. And in these first few turns, 19,000 casualties on each side, but I persevere. As the Greeks, we cannot let the we can, as playing as Greece, you gotta destroy Turkey. I mean, let's be real. Turks are their mortal enemies. They gotta take them out, right? And so as I invaded Turkey, I held my ground because I wanted to advance in a line, right? I wanted an orderly advance. And so each time a part of the line felt weak, I shifted around troops to keep my numbers up. And soon enough, I was able to even take Ankara, because the Turks kept wasting units attacking me recklessly. And so, I mean, of course, I didn't mean I was perfect either, because at one point I managed to lose one attack, and then they nearly had a gap in my lines, but I moved troops back. I shifted them around so that would not happen, so that the Turks wouldn't be able to exploit that. And soon enough, I was halfway through Turkey. Of course, but nothing is guaranteed yet. You can see the Turks could still mobilize, possibly mobilize units to stop me. So I still stayed careful with my advance. Wherever I was low on units, I always tried to bunch up my units, which is how you normally invade when you do these kinds of invasions. And of course, I didn't really try to rush it or anything. I just kept my troops together in a line, and because through that, we were able to gradually conquer Turkey, all the way till Armenia and Iran, by the way. So, I was technically inferior to Turkey, but of course we finally succeeded in conquering Turkey. So now the gameplay is technically finished. However, you might be wondering what the rest of this video is even about, considering, you know, I ×2 speed it up. Well, you see, after this massive peace deal that I took from Turkey, right? I mean, if this is real life, the Turks would never accept this, let's be real. But I took this absolutely horrendous chunk of Turkey. I was considering just ending the video right here. But I have to stick to my principle, because like these borders look sexy as fuck. But I had to stick to my principle of always, you know, keeping, you know, I've always said on this channel, you know, keeping to the formable borders. I don't do these extra stuff. And so, unfortunately, I could not keep these sexy ass borders. And instead, I decided, I was very debating on myself on, you know, what I should really release. I really did not know, right? I thought Ionia may be a good idea, like, you know, release these old Greek kingdoms. Then I wasn't sure about it, you know, I was a little bit iffy on what to release here. Because normally, you know, I release it, it needs to make sense, right? And so then I thought about it, and I was like, what can I do? You know, Persian Empire is here, I'm not touching that, right? No way. And then I for the next, like, minute or so, I was just, next several minutes, I was just not sure what to do. And then I finally decided, you know what? Look around, you know, at the different nations. Listen, I was still not sure, right? But then I make a decision to finally just start releasing random-ass Greek city-states in Turkey. And I mean this in the literal sense. I started with Thessaly, all right? Then I went on to release Sparta, right? And keep in mind, you know, these are all, I know these are all Greek city-states from, like, you know, the ancient, like 200 some BC, right? 300 BC, around then. And like, damn, right? But I just wanted something to be like, serve as my vassals. Why make one big vassal when you can make many small vassals in a divide and conquer strategy? Now all my vassals hated each other, but I really did not care. So, of course, I grew them a little bit, you know, made sure each one was nicely sized. And of course, when I put Sparta, of course, I gotta have Athens right next to them. I mean, like they're not the greatest rivals whatsoever. I mean, in this case, they're all just Greek kingdoms. Not kingdoms, puppet regimes established by me to maintain control of the Turkish populace, right? I mean, all these kingdoms are incredibly unstable as well. And right in the middle of it, I decided, why not put Thebes in control of Ankara? Guys, I'm sorry for this incredibly, like, if there are any Turkish people watching right now, I am sorry for, in advance, I'm sorry for this horrendous peace deal. But I wanted something, and I thought this would just be a cool way to do it. Finally, we ended with Thrace, and of course, I just had one province left to give away. And finally, just like that, we formed Megali Greece. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Man, those vassals look wonderful.